Hey guys, Aaron here, and I have a new watch review to show you. This is the Omega 253820, the Great White Seamaster GMT. Now, before I get too far into this review, I just wanted to let you know this watch was provided as a review sample by Aston Jewelers out of Maryland. My good buddy Alfred, he's also known as FNFZ4 on the forums. He's a top-notch watch dealer. I would trust the guy with any amount of money. He's always done me right. Most of my watches have come from him. So he sent this over for me to take a look at and review. So go check him out. There'll be links and stuff in the description below. The Omega 25 3820 is a very special watch out of the Swiss makers lineup and part of a lineage of watches that's very special to myself. My first ever fine Swiss watch was an Omega 225450, essentially the black dialed version of this same watch. This is like that watch is cool, but kind of weird older brother that went to art school. But before we get too far into the review, let's go over some specs on this. We're looking at a 41 millimeter case. The lug to lug, this measurement, is 47.6 millimeters. We're looking at a trim case thickness of 14 millimeters. The bracelet is a 20 millimeter solid link bracelet. This watch is running Omega's caliber 1128, which is based roughly on the ETA 2892. And the weight on the bracelet is a really trim 6 ounces. So let me swap watches here. I am wearing my beloved Speedmaster Mark II. So the fit. One of the things that I have discovered about my preference in watches is that I like a watch that rides close to the wrist. You can see how trim and low to the wrist this is. Tall watch cases, like this one, invite damage. The Great White, like I said before, is a very svelte 14 millimeters. It sits low and tight to the wrist, and all the edges of the case are rounded and chamfered for an even better feel against your skin. One of the really cool things about this watch, too, and something that I've always liked about the Seamaster GMT line, is the absolutely bulletproof movement that's in it. They're certified chronometers, and damn do they keep time. When I ultimately sold my 2254, I sold it to a friend of mine who also commented on how well it kept time. It continued to do so for a long time. I imagine it still is. The 1128 is also what's called a true GMT, meaning that on the first crown position here, you have a quick set hour hand. I have also heard this style of GMT called a flying, quotes, flying GMT, meaning that the quick set hour hand allows you to quickly change the time when you get off a plane in a new time zone, leaving the 24-hour hand set to your home time zone. The added feature that the Great White, has over, say, an Explorer 2 is a rotating 24-hour bezel. So if you did want to change the 24-hour time, but you don't necessarily want to change all the timekeeping that's going on here, it's as simple as shifting that over a mark. So the dial, bezel, and crystal. The dial on this watch is absolutely amazing. I have and always will love the Omega Wave dial. It takes an already attractive watch and kicks it up like 30 notches. The coolest thing about that, too, in my opinion, is that it's a very subtle, stylized touch that does not become apparent until you take some time to consider the piece. A casual glance on the street will definitely show that it's an Omega and that it's nice, but it won't be until someone asks you about it that it will really knock their socks off. Anyway. The dial is super readable, as you can see. Omega has always done indices very, very well. This particular run of Seamaster Professionals have just these enormous mounds of lume at the hour marks. You can even see how big they are. They are outlined by a really easily defined contrasting black line with very visible black minute ticks in between. The handset on the 2538 are Omega's sword hands. These are my favorites compared to the stylized, skeletonized hands coming from similar generations of Seamasters. The second hand, as you can see, is red tipped to match the GMT hand and the GMT marking on the face there. Oh, and the bezel. I'm sorry, I lost my place. The bezel, like I said before, is 120 click rotating bezel. I think my one little gripe with that would be is that it can be a little hard to get purchase on there, but it's not impossible. The crystal, there's not much to say about it, mostly because the AR and the doming is done so well on it, you can barely tell it's there. So that's good. The strap and bracelet on the 2538 are brushed solid end link bracelets, and I believe they are split pin. I don't think these are pin and collar, but I could be wrong. Split pin construction. The whole bracelet, as I said before, has a really nicely brushed finish that will wear and take wear very, very well. And then the clasp is also brushed. It has a diving extension in there, and it is a fold-over push-button clasp. I've had a couple of watches now with these clasps, and I've never had it come undone when I didn't want to. They've always been super comfortable. And these do mark up over time, but they still look good. This one has seen a lot of wear. So, to wrap up this review, as you can tell, I'm a fan. The biggest thing I'd say is that if you're looking for a quirky version of an Omega Classic, this is it. The white dial on the 2538 really, really sets it apart from other watches in Omega's line. The movement's proven, and the bracelet is quality. And the nice thing about having a GMT diver like this is it's extremely versatile. It would be a good watch to travel with, a good watch to dive with, assuming you're using a diving computer and aren't going to die because you don't have a diving scale. And it just looks amazing on the wrist. It will jump out off of your wrist when you're wearing it. People are going to see this and ask you about it. So if you're interested in purchasing this exact watch, as of the date of this recording, subject to change any second, this is available. Shoot on over to Aston Jewelers. It's in the show notes below. Or you can message Alfred. Again, he is FNFZ4 on all the major watch forums, and he'll hook you up. Tell him I sent you, and he will take very good care of you. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review, and be excited for a lot more. We've got some exciting things in store for you. All right, take it easy. See ya.